And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly. Unless you're 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen to Pac.
He knew Pac was about to deal with, yeah.
It was a point of time where Gene Deal was labeled a psycho, bugged out, don't believe him. But a lot of stuff that he has been saying came to the light. Not every single thing, but your man just got story for days. I know he's upset because he got left out of the Diddy documentary. I believe he could have made a little 50 ball off of that. For those who don't know, that's $50,000. But let's see how this is going to play out. Right now, we're going to react to Gene Deal exposing, or I guess letting us know that Diddy had a lot to do with Tupac's unfortunate situation where he got pew-pewed at the Quad Studio.
Yeah, Kirk Burroughs, he also said that, Diddy, he will study, Tupac's I Get Around video.
Well, see, you got to understand that Puff is like a chameleon. He tried to feed off what's great and what's good. And at that time, Tupac showed greatness of what they wanted the music to go to, because before that, it was gangster rap. You understand? It was NWA. It was Ice Cube. The West Coast was it was Ice-T. They was putting down gangster shit down. Pac brought fun back into hip hop, where it was smoking blunts, drinking champagne, and fucking with the baddest girls that you could find, driving expensive cars, and dressing in designer clothes. He brought that into hip hop, and Big just took it to a whole nother level with the koozies and all that stuff, like the way he did it. So they copied that template, and I said this a long time ago. They copied that template, you understand, and made Bad Boy what it was. And he just admitted to the stuff that I said a long time ago.
Not to stop it so soon, but he kind of got a point. I remember there was a time where Biggie would never dress up in no suit or anything like that. And your boy Pac was dressed up in Versace and everything, suited up. And at the left field, Biggie started doing the same thing. Pay attention, y'all. Go. Everything is in the archives. Go to YouTube, search it up, look at the old videos. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Why do you think he hated Pac so much?
I think that hate stemmed from wanting to be him, idolize a motherfucker. He idolized Tupac because you got to realize when a woman looked at Tupac, they probably wanted him. Puff wasn't getting that type of fever from girls. You understand what I'm saying? Puff had to use his money. Puff had to use his position in order to get women. Now, I seen him with some bad joints, and I used to look at them like this, like, not on no hating shit, but like, you wouldn't be here if he wasn't puffed.
That's
if
half
this
of the
nigga had no money, you would not be coming out of his room like that. And that's for real, for real. You understand? I'll be like, yo, when I had to, because most of the time, I would walk some of them to the door, walk them to get their cabs or whatever like that, or, take them down so they can get their cabs and everything like that. And I'd be like, I'd be laughing. I just kept a smile on my face when it came to that shit. Because I know for a fact, because he said it himself. He said, I don't know how to talk to women. I don't know how to talk to girls. You understand? I said, you don't have to know how to talk to nobody. You a millionaire. You got it. So he was jealous of Pac because Pac ain't had to do that. Pac had that aura, you know what I'm saying? And he probably knew how to communicate with women. And most women who he talked to that said stuff, said about him. You understand? Like, and we talk about
Pac had
the whole incident of the Quad Studio shit. Like in the documentary, they was talking about that, right? You know what I'm saying? They talked about the Quad Studio shit.
Shut
But
down
they
Janet.
didn't mention the fact, and they left it out, that Big and C's did not know that Puff and Andre Harrell was in Jimmy Henchman's office the day Pac got killed.
I would say this though. I like to chime in on this, right? If, let's just say allegedly, if Diddy has something to do with the situation along with Jimmy Henchman, allegedly, right? There is a possibility where maybe the whole Junior Mafia, including Biggie, was left in the dark. Then maybe at some point, you know what I mean? Like they kind of put two and two together. Maybe they were told the information, but what they gonna do now? That documentary is diabolical. It shows a different light. I don't even know why he felt so cocky to even record himself on the phone with them attorneys the way he did on that first episode. That was just different.
I mean, the day Pac got shot at Quad Studio. Let me repeat that again so it don't get mixed up in the whole thing. They did not mention that Andre Harrell and Puff Daddy and Jimmy Henchman were all in the office together. Puff was on the office because he was trying to spy on Big them, because Big was writing the Junior Mafia stuff and Puff had his publishing. I told this to a couple of people before. I said it before, and you got people that's running with it like they knew the story in the whole 9 yards. You understand? They'll lie and you ask them, how do you know that? Who told you? They couldn't even tell you that. They'll tell you some lie, they did some kind of investigation, but it didn't happen like that. You understand? Puff was there to spy on Big because he had owned Big Publishing. And Big had turned around, and the same people who helped Puff get Big Publishing told Big to turn and put Tatiana or put somebody else's name on his publishing or give it to Lil C's or whoever, this, that, and the third that he wrote for so he can get the money from it. So that's how that went down. So they was there to spy on Big. In the interim of him being there to spy on Big, Jimmy Henchman told him that they finna teach Pac a lesson. Because Pac had owed him some money. So that's why he was up in the studio and was coming to the studio. Pac owed him some money. He was gonna work it off and get some money from doing a song with Lil Sean.
My whole entire situation with this, where I feel like it's off, it seems like everybody was with everything. It's just that when the money ran out or whatever money was promised and it didn't reach them, that's when now everybody has an issue with this, right? We could go down a line with everyone. If you ask me, they all got what they asked for. Everyone got what they asked for out of this situation. Whether good or bad, everyone got what they asked for. If it wasn't for the money, let's just say he paid everybody the way he should have paid. Would we have hear about any of this? And he's not a saint neither. He's at fault as well. I'm gonna tell you why he's at fault. All the stories where he's telling us he was there to see all the crazy things, my boy, you could have walked away. You stayed. Why? The money. They all stayed for the money. So you got to check their moral compass as well. Oh man.
And that's what that was about. But Pac was talking greasy to Jimmy Henchman, and Jimmy Henchman wasn't the type of dude that you talk greasy to, allegedly. Unless you're 50 Cent.
So Diddy knew what was going to happen to Pac.
He knew Pac was about to deal with, yeah. He was there to see it. He was there to see it. He wasn't only there to see Big them when Jimmy Henchman told him that. He was there to see what's going to happen to Pac. He was there for that. Because had he not been there for that, he would have went up there in the office. He would have went to the studio or the studio session with Big them. He would have went to that studio session with Big them. He knew what room Big them was in. He didn't do that. He was there to see what was going to happen to Pop after Jimmy told him.
With an $80,000 Rolex.
And that's factual.
They left it. No robbery.
Yeah, Kirk Burrows, he also
was
said that,
intentional.
he feels like, Diddy was behind Pac murder.
Yeah. If Diddy played a part in that stuff, like he said, Kirk know where the money came from.
Uh.
I'm going to say this. They tried to, if you talk about the Vegas trip and the whole 9 yards, Kirk said that he paid for people to drive out to Vegas. You know what I'm saying? He said he paid for people to drive out of Vegas. I was heavily with Bad Boy at that time. I don't remember that part of it. You understand? I don't remember that part of it. But if Kirk knew and he was paying for people to drive out to Vegas in the whole 9 yards, it's hard to hide $1 million, brother. You ain't going to cash that in the check cashing place. You signing that over to somebody. I said 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 times again. Eric Von Zip showed me and my man Boondang, a.k.a. my man Slick, a check for $1 million.
Now, for those who don't know who Eric Von Zip is, he's the alleged receiver and also the planner who put everything together for the alleged hit on Tupac. You understand? So I'm just putting it out there for those who don't know. You could do your own research, but this is according to a lot of speculation and rumors.
We don't know, and everybody trying to say, lying, talking about half of it got paid, 500. I don't know. I know when I asked him about, we asked him, do we ask? No, we didn't ask him. I know when he showed us the check and he walked away after he showed us the check for the $1 million, you understand? I asked Boone, I said, yo, Boone, when did he get a record label? He said, you know how Zip is. I said, when did he get a Zip record label? Zip had a check for $1 million. He said he got it from Barry Hankerson and Jimmy Henchman for his record label, Black Ground Records. So now, if that's true, we know Jimmy Henchman and Puff was cool. You should be able to trace $1 million if that's the truth. If that's the truth, you should be able to trace that, where it came from. Why did he get it? Is that true that he sold a record label to them? And this was all after Pac's death. So if they really was trying to find out, or instead of looting the shit, do a trace on that $1 million. Because he sure cashed it. And he probably didn't do it in no check cashing place.
It's crazy because it sounds like, based off the documentary, we lost 2 official artists due to hating, jealousy, and envy. I mean, that's what it all boils down to.
Everybody trying to say, yo, who's gonna pay that? Yo, it's a lot of shit get paid with checks. It's a lot of shit get paid with checks. It's just where it came from. I still remember we were sitting on 112th Street on the stoop. Zip was showing us a new car he had just bought. He was bragging, pulled out goes in his right pocket, pulled out the check out in the back pocket, showed us to it. Like, yo, damn. All right. That's what it was. So if Kirk Burrows know all that, maybe he can help law enforcement on how, if Diddy had anything to do with breaking that money up or giving that money up to him like that.
Hey, look, listen. I suggest for anyone who has not yet to watch that documentary, go on Netflix and watch it ASAP. Only reason why I'm telling you to go check it out is way different from what TMZ put out. Is way different from everything you're hearing on the internet, because the information is actually coming from the horse's mouth, all right? So with that being said, let me know your thoughts on this right here. Do you believe Diddy has something to do with this? Go in the comments. Let me know.